welcome back to my channel. Today is February 28th and you already know it is my monthly wrap up. Y'all, this was a huge reading month for me, so I feel like I should just go ahead and get into it because I don't want this video to be too long. Of course, my monthly wrap-ups are spoiler-free. I try not to give too much away about any of the books because I do want you to form your own opinion. And I don't like monthly wrap-ups that are like very detailed about books because it's just a sense of joy you get going into a book blind. So I'm just going to start my monthly wrap up and I'm going to go in the order of which I read the books. So the first book I read in the month of February was, I had to finish off the Saints and Sinners Duet by Sophie Lark, and I read There Is No Devil. Y'all, Mara and Cole, this is the type of twisted things that you probably shouldn't read about, but it's good. Sophie Lark writes in a way that makes you question everything, you know, and you're just like, oh, you know what? Maybe it isn't bad that I read this. But anyways, I love that you get to see Mara's development throughout this book because she was kind of sort of not the greatest, in my personal opinion, character at the beginning of the book. She had a lot of self-doubt, a lot of this, a lot of that, and towards the end you really see her grow and mature. And I don't know, it is a book about a serial killer, so some of the things are very questionable, but do you boo. So Mara and Cole, the ending, they finally take you through everything that happens with Shaw and Mara's mom. So good book, good ending, great duology. I enjoyed this. I do have the discreet covers only because they were so cute. The other one's on my bookshelf, but yes, let me put this book down so we can get into it. Okay, the next book I read this month, y'all have heard me talk about this. Go follow me on Goodreads if you want to see, like my reading progress, because like I was gonna make a video but I didn't, but I did update pretty regularly on Goodreads. I read the After series by Anna Todd, the Wattpad sensation. It say that in every book, but so I read After We Collided, After We Fell, and After Every After. These books, I should say, go into detail about Hardin and Tessa, their college romance, which is crazy. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but you can find spoilers of this all over because pretty much everybody is read After. I'm being honest. The first book, I was like, what the fuck? Oh, excuse me. What am I reading? I'm trying not to guess. What am I reading? That's how I felt. Towards the end, there was a big surprise. You know, everybody knows about the bed, whatever. And I was just like, she is so crazy. Like, this is the most, I don't want to say toxic, but it's such a back and forth romance where it's like, if you've been somebody who's been in a back and forth relationship before, I don't know if you would want to read this because it made me mad because I was like, girl, leave him. If this was my friend, I'm like, anyways, but she wasn't perfect either. So it's like, so get into that book, big twisty ending where you're like, well, what happens? So you pick up the next book. And then in this book, it goes all into detail about life after finding out the end of this book and yada, yada, yada. Y'all, this is the craziest freaking story ever. The one thing I do love about the After series stuff is that I guess it's because it was a Wattpad sensation and she like basically made her Wattpads into books. I don't think she did very much editing either because there are a couple of mistakes in the whole series. You can kind of tell. But anyways, then you in this book and you like, I didn't think we would get a new character. Then you got a new character. And then at the end of this book, you like, so then you have to bring out this book. And it was just crazy. This whole series is crazy to me. After by Anna Todd. It's one thing that I probably could have went the rest of my life without reading. But now that I've read it, it's kind of engraved in my head. And I must like it since I read this much of the series, just because I had to know what was going to happen because the things that these people were going through is crazy. It make you feel one way about a character, and then at the end of the day, it flip it, and you be like, "Oh my god!" Like Steph, I hate Steph. Steph is awful. Molly was. I don't know how I felt about Molly. Like at the very end of it, looking back at it, Molly wasn't. Like I said, I'm not gonna give away any spoilers, but Molly wasn't who I thought she was. I didn't like. I don't know. Go read it. Form your own opinion if you haven't read the After series. It definitely left me like, I can't give it, I had to give it, oh, I'm sorry, 4.5 stars. I had to give the whole After series at least 3.5 stars, maybe even 4, because her writing did what it should have did. It kept me to the point where I had to read the rest of the series because I wanted to know what happened. Even if it wasn't my favorite books, I still have to give her credit because, like, every time I talk about the After series with somebody, like my coworkers who were watching me read it, because I was that invested that I couldn't put it down. So if I had a break at work, I was reading it. And I had a lot of off days because my schedule was changing in February. Like I was working 12s instead of 8s, so I had more off days. Hooked. The After series had a chokehold on me that I don't know if I want to admit to people. But so after that, I went into this book, which is Put Me in Detention by Megan Quinn. This was my February book month pick for a Facebook group that I was in, Gals Who Read or something like that. If y'all want, let me know below if y'all want me to link it so y'all can join it. It was great. I'm talking about the Facebook group, but this book was really good. It followed Pike and Cora, and like she was in Vegas on her divorcecation and he was in Vegas for like some business related things, and they just have this I mean, they know each other because they're from the same little town, but anyways, they have this wild night and wake up married. So then it goes through, the book goes into detail about everything that goes along with the marriage. It's basically like fake dating trope. It's really good though. It's spicy. I like it. You guys would like it. It's not too spicy, but it is good. And then it goes into like another trope halfway through the book, which I'm not gonna give away because I want y'all to read it. And at the end, you're just like, I love Pike. That was so sweet. Mushy peas though, not for me. If you know, you know. Mushy peas, not for me. And then after I read that, oh, and another thing I want to say, her brother was annoying. Cora's brother was annoying. She does have some issues going on in her past, but like you can't let your past define you. And then Keiko, everybody need a friend like her. I need an oddball friend in my life because I will say this about Megan Quinn because I did kind of divide in a couple of her books this month. Her supporting characters, she does that. Let me tell y'all, because you could invest it in not only your main characters, but the supporting characters as well. And their backstories are good as well. So read the book. It was great. And then after I got into that, I went into It Ends With Us. And y'all, it's crazy. I went into this book before she announced the next one, which like It Starts With Us. So that's crazy. Like the day after I finished it, she announced it on Instagram, and I was like, oh my god. So I'm sure everybody has read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I was probably the last person to the party. But it follows the story of Lily and Ryle, or Lily and Atlas, depending on, you know, how you reading it. Really, it followed Lily and Atlas and Ryle, and it's just crazy to me when you get to that point in the Colleen Hoover book where the titles or the covers make sense. I don't cry in books. I don't know why, but this was the one book that I read where I was like, okay, that's deep. This was very, very deep. A lot of people have this tattoo on them, and I see why y'all chose this tattoo because that was a good one, but I don't know. Lily's growth was amazing, and just breaking the stigma, or like, you know what I'm saying, like the repetitive motion. It was a good book, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. I feel like everybody knows that it's about domestic violence. I wasn't expecting it to turn out the way it was because like I said, I go into books blind. So I will just say I was very pleased with the way that Colleen Hoover did this book. This was a 5-star read for me. I was very, very happy with him. So after that, that's when the time I realized that Hopeless, because if you look at my February TBR, no, All Your Perfects, that's what I wanted to read. It's in a trilogy. So I was like, dang, I can't read All Your Perfects because it's in a trilogy. And I really want to read Hopeless first. Even though it is a standalone, you can't read it as a standalone. I don't want to. So I'm waiting to read that until I get the Hopeless series under my belt. But then I was like, what should I read next? So I went into Ignite by Melanie Harlow. Larry Reeds posted this on her TikTok. And she was like, oh, this is such a good book. Like, if you're looking for a KU book to read, something quick, something steamy, I loved it. Her review, go look at her review about it if you like more in-depth reviews, because it was beautiful. Her review was good. The kids, the way they did kids in this story was amazing. Winnie and Dex were beautiful. I loved that her name was Winnie. That was so cute, like Winnie the Pooh. It had age gap. It was age gap romance. It was just beautiful. I love this story. It was one that the author actually had a sale. Like I said, I read it on KU, but then the author had a Kindle sale. I think it's still going on right now. I'll post it today for this book for only $1. I bought it just because it was so cute. And like the next book in this series is supposed to come out on March the 7th. So the day after my birthday, I'm going to read it because it was a cute little read for me. And then after I went through Winnie and Dex's story, Ignite, I had to finish the after series, y'all, because y'all know about all 5 at one time. And I did not want to read before. Like, I went into a 3-day reading slump because I really wanted to finish this book. That's what actually had me read Ignite. I was going to start this book after I left It In With Us, but I just couldn't. So I picked up Ignite by Winnie Harlow, and it was so good. And I was just like, okay, Kayla, come on, get your TBR done. Read this book. You can skip this book. Actually, so this book is broken up into before, during, and after. So before the after series, the characters during the series. So it basically recounts it in Hardin's perspective in this much book. And then after the after series is over, I would say read the before and after. The during was boring. It's the same thing. And after, I know I gave it like 3.5 or maybe 4 stars. I don't know. I get stuck in it, but I didn't like it enough to want to read it in a male's perspective. Kind of like 50 Shades of Grey. I wanted to read Grey in Christian's perspective. So you could have kept this. But 1 star. 2 stars because I liked the before and the during. The before gave me a better concept of the characters, like Steph and Molly, which this is the reason why I was like going back. I don't know how I feel about Molly because I don't know, some of the things I'm kind of like, dang, you know what, maybe you just but 2 stars. I could have went the rest of my life without reading it, but I am glad I read the before and after. I could have skipped the during though. And so after I went into that, I went into my favorite book of all time, and I'm saying that off the strength because this book was just truly that good. I wasn't expecting this to be my favorite book of all time, and right now it really is. Miles Archer and Tate Collins. Y'all, Ugly Love got 1 tear out of me, and that's saying something because I don't cry in books. But Ugly Love, when you get to the point where you realize why the cover is the cover that it is, y'all, look, I'm getting watery already. This was such a good book. And when I say that this was such a good book, I fell in love with all of the characters. Tate's brother is a good character. Their friends, the poker nights, like, we all need a Miles in our life. And then the fact that she gave us a chapter in Rachel's perspective, because I just wanted to know how Rachel was feeling throughout this. Like, I don't know why. I just read the book. That's all I'm saying. Read the book. And I don't know why people think friends with benefits work. That don't work. It never works. Maybe if I'm put in a predicament one day, I'll try it out. Actually, I have, and it didn't work. This is the best book I ever read in my whole entire life. Like, honestly, they can't handle it. Pilots, who wouldn't want to date a pilot? A nurse? Come on. That scene, I know y'all all know which scene I'm talking about. In the rain, in the car, at the hospital. You know. Under Lock. By Mariana Zapata, another 5-star read of mine. All-time favorite author, probably. Well, she's one of them. Christina Lauren's probably still my all-time favorite. I don't know. Mariana Zapata is 2 for 2 for me right now. Lingus lives in my head rent-free. So does Charles Dexter Locke. Y'all, when I tell y'all I loved Under Lock, it was the Widowmakers motorcycle club that did it for me. I love that not only do you get a romance, but you get backstories, you get excitement, you get thrills. Her brother was so... Sunny was such a good person. Like, we all need a Sunny in our lives. Iris, or Wrist, she had a good character development too. Her tattoo, y'all, this is such a good book, okay? So much so to the fact that after, this book is about a tattoo, motorcycle romance, but it's also about tattoo bar. So much so that after I finished reading this book, y'all, I picked up a whole series dedicated to tattoo parlor romances, but that's coming in later. So that's a 5-star read for me. After that, I went into The Hating Game by Sally Thorne because I wanted to watch the movie on Netflix. So I read the book in like a day or two so that I could watch the movie for the following weekend with my friends. This was good. Lucy and Joshua Templeton, JT, so good. The fact that he sent her roses, y'all, I'm sure everybody's read this. I'm late to the game. This is a good book. 4 stars, 4.5 stars maybe. It was a good book. I liked it for what it was. Yeah, I'm glad it worked out for them in the end. The book was great. The movie was great. Yeah. So after that, that is when I picked up this trilogies, Where Good Girls Go to Die. Yeah, the whole trilogy, fire. I was, after reading Mariana Zapata Under Lock, I was like, I need to feel this tattoo love again. So I went into The Hating Game just because I wanted to watch that movie with my friends, like I said. But then it was in my head. I was like, I'm done with my TBR for the month. What should I get into next? Fire. I saw a TikTok about it because I was trying to get into a tattoo romance, and somebody was like, oh, this is so good. The title, it just throws you off though, because I was like, what am I gonna read? It was so freaking good. Holly Renee, I believe is her name. So it starts off with Parker and Olivia. Sorry, I keep notes just because I wanted to be able to make sure I say everything I want to say in my videos. Beautiful story. So Olivia and Mason are siblings, and the second book is about Mason and Stacy works at a tattoo shop too. And then the third book is about Brandon and Charlie. Brandon's a tattoo artist at the shop also that Parker happens to own from the first book. Beautiful. I got so invested in this. I'm talking about loved every moment of it. The way the first book starts off though, I was like, but once you get past that, when she fly back home, beautiful. After that, hooked. They actually have a photo of her tattoo. This is all on KU also. They actually have a photo of her tattoo in the book, and y'all, that heart with the flowers, adorable. So anyways, beautiful. After that, sometimes you need that bad boy romance in your life. I love my dark romances. But after that, I went into Christina Lauren autobiography. This follows the life of Tanner. He's a bisexual Jewish guy who moves to this small town in Utah. He meets Sebastian, who is a Mormon guy. And yeah, if you know anything about Mormon tradition, then you kind of know already what this book is going to be like. This is a young adult. No, I think it's a teen or young adult, so it's not really any spice at all. But it just kind of goes into navigating their love. This is a good book. It also kind of triggered me a little bit because it was just like, I don't know. Like, I wish people didn't I feel like parents have to realize that once your kids get to a certain age, you can't want your life for them. Like, you gotta let them live their own life. Like, expectations should never be placed so high that I feel like I don't want to do my own thing because I'm gonna disappoint you. But anyways, Christina Lauren, I'm always rate them 5 stars. Now, this is probably like 4.5 to be honest. So after autobiography, I went into another Megan Quinn book, Not So Cute Meat by Megan Quinn, Lottie and Huxley. She is strolling through the streets trying to find her a fake husband that's rich so that she can show her ex-friend. Loosely use the term friends because they're trash. Off at their high school graduation, or not graduation, reunion. And he needs a fake fiance who's pregnant for a business deal for his brothers. I hope his brothers get books. That would have been cool. But yeah, Megan Quinn, like I said, it's really good. And then after that, I went into, and I just finished this, the Mindfuck series. I feel like everybody was reading this, and I just needed something to read because I just started this series, last Thursday, so we only had a few more days left in the month because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, 5 days left in the month. And the Mind F series is 5 parts, which most people buy the big book, which is what I showed, but I read it on KU. It's 5 parts. Every part is no more than 150 pages, so it was a quick read. Y'all, Logan Q, FBI profiler, falls instantly in love with a by the name of Elena. So Elena went through these things, through this huge thing in her past. I'm not trying to tell y'all. In this small town, and this small town is crazy. It's like, I don't know, it's really weird. Like, y'all gotta read it so y'all can feel how I felt, because I was like, ugh. And so she enlists the help of her best friend / brother Jake, which also we all need a Jake in our lives, and they're all out to get revenge on this small town for what they did to Lena in the past, and that's how she becomes a. But you need to go read it to see what happens. It's only 150 pages, 5 books. I read through that. Let me tell you, I was invested. That's how good this was. And the fact that pretty much everybody caught on to who it was, because he ends up having to like look for, like, her case becomes one of his cases that he needs to solve. Everybody on his team though, I'm like, oh, people. But anyways, and then today, which is the 28th, the last day of February, I'm off work. So I woke up, because I am an early riser now, at 7 in the morning, and I read The Love Hypothesis. I just finished this book. I wanted to finish this book so I could put it in this video about Olive and Adam. I get the hype. 5-star read, that's pushing it. 4.5 for sure. I'm trying to be more stingy with my 5-star reads. So 4.5 for sure. This was beautiful. Halfway through it though, like, I was like, girl, just tell the truth. It's obvious he loves you. But it made good for the twist. So of course everybody knows he's a PhD. Well, I'm losing my head. She's a PhD student. He is a professor at the school that she's studying at, Stanford, and it just kind of chronicles their life, fake dating, and you'll have to figure out why they fake dating. If you want to read it, you should. It benefits both of them, but does it really though? He says it does, but once I got to the end, I was like, you know what? He probably just in love with her. But anyways, good book. I hope y'all read it. And yes, that is what I read for the month of February. I know it's still the 28th. I might get started on my March TBR because I have nothing to do and I don't want to mindlessly watch TV all day, but I might. So yes, if you don't already know, I am currently going through a giveaway right now. So please go look at that video, comment, like, subscribe so you can win this book. The giveaway ends on Sunday, so you officially have 6 days to enter. And yes, have have a great day. Thanks so much for watching my channel, guys. Stay tuned, comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what you liked on my what I read for February. Tell me what you didn't like. Tell me what I should have done.
Drinking. Something about your vibe remind me of the weekend.